I'm a senior program manager at Staples out of Framingham, Mass. My focus is omni-channel, but more specifically, it's on customer-facing interactive experiences. So how do we use technology in the store to enhance the shopping experience and make it as good or better than your online or mobile experience? If I can broaden the definition of digital signage to interactive screens or smart screens, right? It's huge. I think without it, we're dead, right? If you look at retail over the past 5 years, traffic to the stores is down 57%. Where'd it go? It went online. Online's delivering a superior experience in some ways. And how do we take that experience into the store and make the store experience better? It's all going to be through screens. And one way is through your mobile device, but if that's the case, we don't control it. You do, right? And you could be in Amazon just as easily as you could be in Staples.com inside the store. If we control the screens, then, one is I'm in charge of the kiosks. So in the stores we have 10,000 products. On the kiosk we have 1.5 million products, right? If you want to buy a Christmas tree, I can sell you one, right? So we just have so much more breadth available to us because we have these screens. They were there before I got there.
Okay.
So that's a cool thing. Every store has an interactive kiosk. It does, there's only one category that does more business in the store than the kiosk does, and that's ink, which is our biggest category. So it's very important to the business, and what it does a couple things. Everybody knows about endless aisle, right? Being able to have access to all these extra products. But it really does help us save the sale. If we're out of something in the store, I can tell you we still have it in stock. I'm going to get it from the warehouse and we'll have it to you tomorrow free of charge. So it has tremendous impact on conversion. And going back to that decline in retail traffic, it's all about conversion. We have to convert those who come into the store. I got into this area because I was consulting to a company in Massachusetts, and I was on my way and I was listening to an NPR story about this new thing called the iPad, 2010. And by the time I arrived at my client, I'm like, that's going to change retail. Instead of printed signage, you're going to have interactive signage right there at your fingertips. And it will change everything. Think about the access. Think about the apps that you could create. So with a friend, I started a company that developed mobile apps for major retailers like Lowe's Canada or Bloomingdale's. In our case, it wasn't just the app, it had to do with the whole ecosystem, the case. You had to really think through all aspects of it to make sure it worked. It wasn't just throwing an app on your mobile phone. So I was an exhibitor here for a couple of years and met great people and got great clients, and my issue was nothing scaled. We had great results, but it takes so long for retail to go through the system, to go through all its steps, that it's like kind of ran out of road, admittedly. An opportunity came up 2 years ago to be the client at Staples, and it was like, wow, there's my chance to hop the fence and find out what I didn't know then, and find out what really is required to bring big projects to scale, because I'm a huge believer in how technology can enhance your experience as the customer. How it can help you make better buying decisions. I came here to see what's new and what's coming. I did come here to get proof that digital signage drives sales. 200 of our stores have digital screens, one per store. There's not a great confidence yet that those screens drive sales. On the other hand, you've got a multi-billion-dollar industry and a huge trade show that believe that digital signage drives sales. I'm a huge believer, and I figured if I'd come here, I'd not only get evidence from the big players, which I have, great examples, and but I'd also see where digital signage is going in terms of voice activation. Where are we headed? It's less about touching and tapping than it is about, using the latest and greatest technology, voice activation, voice to text, image recognition, being able to scan an image, and instead of searching by a keyword, right, it looks up that image. So instead of typing brown office chair, you have the exact chair you're looking for, and it can match it. The brown office chair gets you to 3,000 chairs, right? So it's using technology, it's using the smart part of these screens to really make magic happen. Digital content and digital signage, the word nobody seems to know about is prosemics, right? It's the study of how you interrelate with something else in the space in between. And I think a lot of people get that wrong. So what is the right size screen if I'm standing if I'm 3 feet away from a product in the aisle? Or what's the right size screen if I have it in my hand? Or how big should the digital signage be depending on where I am looking at it? And I consistently find that there's a mismatch. When we did our first program for Lowe's, we had an iPad in the lighting aisle, and an iPad with 9.6 inches, etc. It really needed to be about 16 to 20 inches to be the correct size. That would have made all the difference in the world. It has transformed our business. Luckily, we're as big online as we are in the store, but I'm focused on the in-store, so I don't want to keep losing either to Staples.com or to Amazon. So the Internet of Things is huge in how we figure out how to bring that into the store experience, because there's only two reasons you come into the store. One is you want to touch and feel the product. Two is you want advice from a human being. Otherwise, you'll do it online. And it used to be the default was going in the store. Now the default is online. So what can we bring from the online experience that you really prefer into the store, so that from my standpoint, you come into the store, if you come into the store, A, you're more likely to buy. Our conversion rate's 2 out of 3, instead of online it's like 3 to 5%. Right? People don't come to browse like they do Macy's or a mall. They come in with a specific product in mind. Internet of Things, 80% of people have already determined what they want to buy before they walk in the store, and about the same amount have already done the research. So they're armed and ready. It's a task. They want to come in, buy it, and go. And we have to be able to be ready. And if it's not in stock, I have to very smoothly be able to use technology to get you that product. Because again, I don't want you to go out empty-handed. In one day, I would say I've picked up more than I have than I would do at my desk or over the phone or doing research in a few weeks or a few months, just by being here, going up and down the aisles. And the session that we had, I learned as much from the people in the session as I think they learned from me. By 4:30, it's like I didn't even know what I learned today. Luckily, I wrote a lot of it down. So it's learning from the experts, having questions answered, and then having answers to things I didn't even know to ask, just by breathing the air and being here. And it's interesting to be at DSE instead of a retailer show. Retailers, you're talking amongst yourself. Here, I remember when I was an exhibitor, we had universities, sports teams, banks, restaurants, everybody. What's the common element? It's about using technology in a public space, using technology with their customers, and it changes the dialogue. You have something different in common here, which is unique. I go back to the headquarters where we have 3,500 people. They're not thinking the same way I am. There's 3,500 people here who are. Every year is not 12 months. It's like half a decade or a decade has passed between shows to me. And I love being in this space.